Hey, what's going on, phone dogs? Bo HD here. Hope you guys are doing well. Now we're going to talk about the all-new OnePlus 7. So last year we saw the OnePlus 6T released, bringing a larger display with a teardrop notch, a larger battery, and a fancy new in-display fingerprint scanner, which was one of the first smartphones equipped with an in-display fingerprint scanner. It was really cool at the time. It still is pretty cool. Since the last OnePlus device was a T model, the next OnePlus smartphone should be the OnePlus 7. But the newest reports suggest that OnePlus will launch a Pro model alongside the standard OnePlus 7. So we should see two new smartphones from OnePlus this year. Well, we usually see two OnePlus smartphones every year. Let me clarify by saying we should see two OnePlus 7 variants this year. Now, regardless of which device you get, they're both gonna be very premium powerhouse smartphones, shipping with Qualcomm's new Snapdragon 855 processor and at least 6 gigabytes of RAM, but I'd be willing to bet we'll see 8 gigabytes of RAM as like the standard variant, with the Pro model maxing out at 12 gigabytes of RAM. The display of the OnePlus 7 is rumored to measure in at 6.4 inches with a 1080 by 2340 resolution and a teardrop notch similar to the OnePlus 6T. But the OnePlus 7 Pro, this is where things get interesting. It's expected to pack a 6.6 inch display sporting a Quad HD Plus resolution and a higher refresh rate of 90 Hertz compared to 60 Hertz found in most smartphones. The Razer phone is actually one of the first smartphones to feature 120 Hertz. You get that really smooth frame rate. We've also seen a higher refresh rate in the new iPad Pro. This 90 Hertz refresh rate is not gonna be quite on par with these two devices, but it's still gonna be better, smoother than what we have now. What's also pretty cool about the Pro model is that it's also rumored to have a curved design. Most likely that's just going to mean that it's gonna have a curved glass panel on the front, so the sides will just be they'll feel a little more comfortable when you're swiping through menus and stuff. We're not actually gonna have a curved display, at least I don't think. One really cool rumor says the OnePlus 7 Pro will ditch the notch and opt in for a pop-up camera that will be revealed when you want to take a selfie. So it would pop up when you need it and then recede when you don't. Out of sight, out of mind. Both phones are expected to ship with a dual rear camera array with a 48 megapixel main sensor and either an ultra wide or telephoto sensor. I hope the OnePlus 7 will opt in for an ultra wide sensor over the telephoto sensor because I don't really like the telephoto sensor. I've just never really needed it that much. I can just digital zoom or just get a little bit closer to the subject and just be fine. But the ultra wide sensor allows me to capture so much of my environment. I like to go hiking, capture the grand scale of what it is I am seeing. It's pretty great. Now, if you do use a telephoto sensor, there's nothing wrong with that. The OnePlus 7 Pro is expected to include all three sensors. So I know I mentioned both are gonna come with dual rear cameras, but the Pro model is actually gonna have three. I lied a little bit, I'm sorry. The battery capacities, this is very important. They should be in the ballpark of 4,000 milliamp hours, and they will support OnePlus's 30-watt super fast warp charging standard that will be able to charge up the devices to 60% in about 30 minutes or so, which is phenomenal. With that said, they're not expected to ship with wireless charging support. So this is gonna be yet another OnePlus smartphone without wireless charging. Why? Some rumors suggest that we'll see dual stereo speakers. My fingers are crossed on that one. I do remember with the OnePlus 6T that there was a custom ROM going around that would basically create like an artificial dual stereo speaker setup by blasting audio out of the call speaker in the front. Maybe OnePlus will include some sort of native option for us now. We will see OnePlus's signature alert slider on the side of the phone. That's not going anywhere. And overall, just the build quality is gonna be very similar to the last device. It's gonna consist of metal and glass, nothing too new here. As for the price, we've seen OnePlus phones steadily increase in price with every model over the past several years. The most recent OnePlus 6T, it starts at $549. So we can expect the OnePlus 7 to start at around $569, maybe a little bit more, approaching $600. The OnePlus 7 Pro it's probably gonna start at $100 more than that. So it'll be closer to about $700. Now what's cool is we'll likely see support for AT&T, T-Mobile, and even Verizon, since the OnePlus 6T was the first phone to support Verizon, and T-Mobile was actually the first carrier to start selling OnePlus phones in stores. So they're making progress. We should see even more support with the OnePlus 7. Now, I've read reports that the OnePlus 7 Pro could also feature support for 5G, the latest and greatest network standard, but I'm not holding my breath for that. 5G is just so much still in its infancy that it's not something that a company like OnePlus should really be focusing on, in my opinion. I'd much rather have wireless charging, and honestly, I think even a feature like wireless charging is probably in more demand than 5G. So those are all of the credible leaks and rumors surrounding OnePlus's new smartphone. I did just read a report as of making this video that OnePlus is officially going to announce the launch date next week for the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7 Pro. I don't obviously know the official date because they haven't announced it yet, but I would suggest it being on around May 14th. I think that sounds about right. So mark your calendar. Let me know if you're excited for the OnePlus 7 or if you're gonna shell out some extra cash for the OnePlus 7 Pro to get that bigger bezel-less display with no teardrop notch. It's gonna be pretty nice, I think. Let me know which features you are most excited for in a comment down below. As always, I'm BoHD from PhoneDog.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you right back here in the next one. See ya.